Everyone knows that Elsa is the Snow Queen of Arendelle, the powerful, misunderstood ruler who froze her kingdom, saved her sister, and embraced her magic. But what if I told you that by the end of Frozen 2, Elsa is no longer human at all, that she has transcended mortality itself, and that Elsa, Queen of Arendelle and Spirit of the North, can never die? Yeah, you heard that right. There's a growing theory among Disney fans that Elsa's transformation at the end of Frozen 2 doesn't just make her the fifth elemental spirit, it makes her immortal. And when you start to piece together the clues, from her white transformation to the mysterious realm of Ahtohallan to her total separation from Arendelle, this theory starts to make a lot more sense than you would expect. So today, we're diving deep into the frozen heart of this mystery, no pun intended, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. And by the end of the video, you might just agree that Elsa, as we know her, no longer lives as a mortal being, but as something else entirely. In order to understand this crazy claim, we need to start with what we actually know from Frozen 2. Throughout the movie, we learn that Elsa's powers are connected to the four elemental spirits: water, earth, fire, and air. These spirits represent balance in nature, but as the story unfolds, Elsa discovers that she doesn't just control ice, she is the missing piece. She's the fifth elemental spirit, and the one that bridges the human world and the spirit world. Now here's where things start to get interesting. The movie doesn't just call her a bridge, it shows us that she physically crosses over through the enchanted mist into Ahtohallan, the mystical river that holds all memories. And once she enters, Elsa undergoes a transformation unlike anything we've seen in Disney history. Her entire form changes, her gown turns pure white, her hair glows with light, and her demeanor shifts from fear and restraint to serenity. It's not just a costume change, it's metamorphosis. She's no longer Elsa, Queen of Arendelle, she's something far greater, a being of nature itself. And not only that, but when we rewind to that key scene, Elsa's journey into Ahtohallan, there's a moment where everything shifts, where destiny and discovery collide in a way that changes Elsa forever. She follows the haunting voice, the one that's been calling her throughout the film. Many fans believe this mysterious call is none other than the voice of her own mother guiding Elsa towards the truth hidden within Ahtohallan. Show yourself, she sings, as she uncovers the truth about her powers, that they were given to her because of her mother Iduna, who saved Agnar years ago. That connection between human and spirit gave birth to Elsa's magic. But when Elsa pushes too far into the unknown, we watch her freeze solid. She literally becomes ice. Her body crystallizes, her eyes close, her movements stop. And just like that, Elsa is gone. Anna even feels it. Through their sisterly connection, she senses that Elsa has perished. She's frozen in time, trapped in a river of memories. Now, by all logic, this should have been the end of her story. But when the dam breaks and balance is restored, Elsa suddenly returns. So here's the question: how does a human body survive being turned to solid ice? The answer? It doesn't. In mythology, and especially in Disney's myth-inspired storytelling, death and transformation often go hand in hand. Think about it. Rapunzel's magical hair dies when it's cut, but that death frees her. Beast's death transforms him back into a prince. Moana's confrontation with Te Kā reveals a goddess in disguise. Elsa freezing in Ahtohallan is her death, but her rebirth is as something beyond human. Her new white gown mirrors the spirit's ethereal glow. Her movements become calmer, more deliberate, almost divine. And most importantly, she chooses not to return to Arendelle. Elsa doesn't go home. She doesn't reclaim her throne. She stays in the enchanted forest with the elemental spirits. That's the visual and symbolic sign of someone who's transcended mortality, someone who belongs in another realm. Elsa's story mirrors classical spiritual ascension arcs. She completes her journey of self-discovery, sacrifices her human life, and becomes a guardian of nature. She's no longer a ruler of men, she's a ruler of balance. Not only that, but did you notice her new outfit as well? Throughout both Frozen movies, color has always been used to communicate Elsa's emotional and spiritual state. In Frozen 1, she wears blue, a color tied to sadness, control, and isolation. In Frozen 2, her palette brightens as she becomes more at peace. And finally, when she accepts her role as the fifth spirit, her entire wardrobe turns white. Now, the color white in Disney doesn't just symbolize purity, it symbolizes transcendence. It's the color of transformation and immortality. Think of it like this. When a character's journey ends in white, it means they've completed their arc, like Gandalf the Grey becoming Gandalf the White in Lord of the Rings. Elsa's shift to white signals a rebirth into a higher plane of existence, and even the texture of her clothing reflects that as well. The fabric glows with a magical sheen, with fractal patterns like ice crystals. It's almost like she's no longer wearing the ice, but it's more like she is the ice. And when it comes to Ahtohallan, understanding what it is at its core is the very thing that unlocks the understanding of Elsa's transformation. According to the film, Ahtohallan is the river that holds all memories. It's where truth of past lives live on forever. But notice how the movie describes it. It's not just a place, it's almost like an eternal consciousness. And when Elsa enters, she hears echoes of history. She sees her parents, her childhood, and even the origin of her powers. In many ways, Ahtohallan represents both knowledge and eternity. It's basically the Disney version of the afterlife, a river that remembers everything, where the past never fades. So when Elsa dies in Ahtohallan and awakens again, she's not just returning from a physical death, she's becoming part of that eternal memory. That's why she can summon the water horse, Knock, effortlessly. That's why she's able to influence the elements themselves, because she's no longer channeling power from the world, rather she has become the very essence that flows through it. In other words, Elsa has become the living embodiment of Ahtohallan. And overall, what does that really mean for Elsa and her fate? In Frozen 2, each elemental spirit, Gale, Bruni, Knock, and the Earth Giants, are ageless. They've existed for centuries, maybe even a millennia. They never age, they never die, and they're not bound by time the way humans are. If Elsa has become one of them, the fifth spirit, then she shares those same qualities. She's now part of the eternal cycle of nature. That means Elsa will live for as long as balance exists. And when you think about it, that's exactly why she can't go back to Arendelle, because time doesn't flow the same for her anymore. Anna, Kristoff, Olaf, they're all living beings. Their time is finite, but Elsa's time is infinite. It's a bittersweet ending when you think about it, one that mirrors the emotional weight of Disney's greatest myths. But if this theory is true, that means that she may have found peace, but at the cost of her humanity. And not only that, but did you notice the tiny detail at the end of Frozen 2? A lot of fans missed this detail, but the tone of the ending of Frozen 2 is way more final than people realize. When Elsa sends her message to Anna at the end, the spirits have finally recognized me as the fifth spirit, she's not just updating her sister. It's almost like she's saying goodbye. There's a quiet, reverent stillness in her voice. She's calm, resolved. And notice Anna's reaction as well. She doesn't look sad, because she knows Elsa's not gone, not truly. She's just in another realm. It's a poetic separation, similar to how the mortal and spirit worlds coexist in films like Coco or Soul. The bond remains, but they're no longer in the same place. And not only that, but this goodbye also expresses itself in Elsa's giving up of the crown. At the end of Frozen 2, Anna becomes Queen of Arendelle. Elsa willingly gives up her crown. And at first glance, it feels like a happy ending, both sisters finding their place. But if you dig deeper, you realize it's also symbolic of Elsa's farewell to the human world. She doesn't need a kingdom anymore, because she's part of something much larger. Her rule isn't over a city of stone and ice, it's over nature itself. The spirits don't bow, they don't kneel, they coexist. And that's exactly what Elsa has become, coexistence embodied. It's just another nod towards this theory at the end of Frozen 2. It shows us that there's a divide between Elsa and other mortal beings. They are no longer the same. And when you really think about it, Elsa's story has been leading here all along. In Frozen 1, she isolates herself because she's afraid of her power. In Frozen 2, she embraces it and discovers that her power has a purpose. That purpose? To protect balance between humanity and nature. That's not a queen's duty, it's a spirit's duty. Look at her new home, the Enchanted Forest. It's alive with ancient magic, timeless, untouched by human civilization. She rides Knock, a literal water spirit. She commands wind and snow as if they are extensions of herself. Elsa doesn't just live among the spirits, she is one. And just like them, she will continue to exist long after the mortal world fades. And if you really want to drive this theory home, take a look at Elsa and Anna's mother, Iduna, because understanding her connection to the North Uldra is the key to understanding Elsa's immortality. Iduna saved Agnar using the wind spirit, and her act of selfless love bridged two worlds that were once at war. That moment created a bond between humanity and the elemental spirits. Elsa inherits that bond, but she doesn't just maintain it, she completely embodies it. She becomes a literal embodiment of what her mother represented, unity between nature and man. So in a way, Iduna's love didn't just give Elsa her powers, it set in motion her destiny to become eternal. Kind of like Harry Potter's mom when she sacrificed herself to save her son. Movies express unconditional love in this way all the time, and Disney is no exception. So bringing it all together, when you look at every piece of her journey, it all points to one thing. Elsa's story is about transformation, balance, and transcendence. From the moment that she first feared her magic to the instant that she embraced it fully, every challenge she faced was shaping her into something greater. Her time in Ahtohallan, her connection with the elements, and her ultimate choice to stay in the Enchanted Forest all reveal the same truth. Elsa has become the living bridge between humanity and the spirits. She's the fifth element, the force of balance that unites both worlds. And while she may have left her crown behind, she gained something far more eternal: purpose, peace, and power beyond the limits of time. And that's why Elsa can never die. She completely transcended into her role as the fifth elemental spirit, one that cannot be destroyed, but rather endures as long as the balance of nature itself remains. It's poetic, really. Elsa started her journey terrified of what made her different, and in the end, that's the very difference that made her immortal according to this theory. Her fear of isolation becomes acceptance of eternity. Her separation from Arendelle becomes protection of all realms, and her love for Anna remains, unbroken even across worlds. Because as Elsa herself says, love is stronger than fear, and maybe it's even stronger than time. But what do you think? Is Elsa truly immortal, or is there still a trace of humanity left within the fifth spirit? Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below.